now. Thank you, everyone, for being present today. It's great to see a large number of you present for our first webinar of the Coalition for Sustainable AI. As stated here, if you want to follow what we're doing, you can follow us on LinkedIn, and you can also register for our newsletter where we share important information about events, about reports, about initiatives, etc., about opportunities in general. So really don't hesitate to follow those. For this webinar, we have a very dense agenda, a lot of things that we want to show to you. We'll start with high-level introductions. Then we'll have a short overview of the origin and the progress reports of the Coalition for Sustainable AI. Then we will present the results of the mapping, which is the main topic of our webinar today. Where we will present the results of a survey that we conducted with our members on all the ongoing current initiatives surrounding AI and environmental sustainability. Then we will present the upcoming initiatives that we have in mind for the next steps of the Coalition for Sustainable AI, and finishing with the opportunities for you to further engage with the Coalition for Sustainable AI. We will not have time for live questions. However, you can use the chat to ask any question that you want, and we'll try to answer those in the chat. So today you'll see a number of speakers. So you will have introductions from Anne Bouverot from France, from Tomas Lamanauskas from ITU, and Sally Radwan from UNEP. The organizers of this webinar are myself, Juliette Fropier, Hélène Costa from France, Robin Zwerka from the International Telecommunication Union, and Polina Koroleva from the United Nations Environment Programme. And I will start with the high-level introductions, and many thanks to Tomas Lamanauskas, the Deputy Secretary General from the International Telecommunication Union, for being here with us today, and I'll let you send.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for this introduction. Indeed, it's my pleasure to join Anne, Sally, and all of you today at this meeting on mapping the collaborative initiatives, which is the key foundation for everyone to come together. The strong turnout underlines your commitment to align AI with a sustainable future for humanity and our planet. There's indeed no time to waste on this. After unprecedented heat waves in 2024, this year has again brought record-breaking temperatures. Heat-related deaths in Europe are in thousands. Worldwide, extreme weather events that used to happen every 60 years now happen every 6. Yet, together, we can confront this era-defining problem. It's very big thanks to France for your leadership on this. It is actually the first country collecting clear climate data on telecoms, which is required from all operators. The regulator, ARCEP, has produced a groundbreaking case study with ITU and the World Bank. I also appreciate France's bold move to form the Coalition for Sustainable Artificial Intelligence, alongside ITU and our long-standing partner, the UN Environmental Programme. With our combined leverage, we can foster AI innovation that advances the twin green and digital transitions. Since the launch of this coalition at the Paris AI Action Summit, we've seen incredible momentum. Over 200 members have joined because technologists, investors, and policymakers alike grasp the urgency to get ahead of the AI-related climate impact. It is crucial to approach AI sustainability with a balanced yet ambitious perspective. We're aiming to maximize net positives, with AI cutting far more greenhouse gas emissions than it contributes. This coalition, therefore, must focus both on greening AI and on AI enabling green cities, industries, communication systems, and more. AI-based digitalization boosts efficiency, eliminate waste, and reduce carbon footprints, from water-saving measures in agriculture to energy efficiency in homes and businesses. AI can help meet nearly 80% of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Inevitably, processing so much data has a flip side. The digital sector accounts for up to 4% of global greenhouse gas emissions and 62 billion kilograms of e-waste every year. If we're not careful, those numbers will go far more. Large AI data centers now consume as much electricity as small towns, say 100,000 households apiece. And those under construction will consume 20 times more, according to the International Energy Agency. Yet applied economy-wide, current AI applications could cut 5% of annual energy-related emissions by 2035. Also, the International Energy Agency recognizes that's meaningful, but not necessarily sufficient contribution to the fight against climate crisis. Proactive action and inclusive global governance are vital to unlock AI for green future. and co-chaired actually our AI governance dialogue on 10th of July, a highlight of this year's AI for Good Summit, and co-chair's outcome included environmental sustainability of AI infrastructure as a key consideration. At EU also welcomes the 26th of August UN resolution paving the way for the independent international scientific panel on AI, as well as global dialogue on AI governance, and we hope that these will also take into account environmental considerations in their work. And we're excited to support the UN Secretary General in opening that global dialogue during our next AI for Good Summit in July 2026. Sustainable AI is a priority in our Green Digital Action Initiative. Our Green Computing pillar added last year has produced a study on measuring what matters, how to assess AI's environmental impact, because we've got to understand that impact as a prerequisite for reducing it. At EU Study Group on Environment, Climate Change and Circular Economy is compiling AI impact assessment guidelines, and we aim to maximize AI for climate adaptation. As part of the UN Secretary General's Early Warnings for All framework, we're piloting AI systems with industry partners to extend timely disaster alerts globally. AI will also be a key theme at COP30, the crucial UN climate conference, with 10th and 11th November dedicated to adaptation, cities and infrastructure, as well as AI in that context. We'll announce winners of our AI Innovation Factory for Climate Action and our AI Environmental Footprint Measurement Hackathon. We're working closely with Brazil's COP presidency to keep upping the momentum of green digital action and get digital issues reflected in new climate pledges. Today's session is a chance to share and coordinate as we map out international collaborative initiatives for sustainable AI. Where we find gaps, we can mobilize action. Together, we can weather the climate challenge and build a better future. Let's do it COP30 and leave no one behind, and let's do it today. Thank you very much, and let's have a great meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lamanauskas, for this introduction and for linking this session with the COP30 in Belém in November. I will now leave the floor to Anne Bouverot, our French Republic Special Envoy on AI.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Juliette, and hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar because it's a super important topic. I'll just say a few words in terms of context. I'm sure most of you know this, or all of you. There are growing energy needs for AI. The International Energy Agency, in one of its latest reports, projected that about 3% of global electricity consumption in the world could be used to feed data centers by 2030. That's a strong call to action to optimize sources of energy, to reflect on the environmental impacts of AI, and to build a more sustainable value chain. Of course, there's also a need to use AI to fight against climate change. During the February AI Action Summit, which I had the pleasure to lead the organization of on behalf of France, we made this topic a priority. It wasn't always easy because not everyone was agreeing with it, but it was a priority of President Macron's speech to use nuclear energy for AI and renewable energy. We held the first multi-stakeholder international and high-level conversation on the topic with, for example, the leaders panel at the summit with Finland's Prime Minister, Petteri Orpo, with the head of the International Energy Agency, Fatih Birol, and the head of the UN's International Telecommunications Union, Doreen Bogdan-Martin. The leaders' declaration at the summit, which was signed by more than 60 countries and international organizations, committed to foster more sustainability in AI, and that was not a given before the summit, so we were pleased that it was signed. More recently, I'm very pleased to see that companies are taking the subject very seriously. Clearly, they're also doing that for cost reasons, but that's fine. They're starting to shift to renewable energy and to optimize the energy consumption of their models. We can see NVIDIA stating that energy is a limiting factor to AI deployment. We saw Google just last month publish a methodology for measuring both energy, carbon, and water consumption for their Gemini models. And we also saw Mistral publish the first full life cycle analysis of their model with total CO2 emissions and water use. This serves just to say that no one set of actors will solve this. It will take companies, small and large. It will take countries. It will take public authorities and research teams to make sure we find concrete solutions. This is why we launched this coalition, France, together with ITU and UNEP, as a platform to advance science standards and solutions for sustainable AI. And this is the objective of today's webinar, to bring the coalition's members and supporters around concrete projects. I'd like to, in particular, thank Juliette and Hélène and the teams from ITU and UNEP for making this a reality, and you all from making sure that we concretely progress on this. Beyond this webinar and the series of actions from this coalition, we will continue to push the topic at international fora, in particular with India at the Global Impact Summit in Delhi next February. And of course, before that, with Brazil at COP30, with Kenya at the UNEP Summit in December, and next June at the G7, which France will be hosting. Again, thank you very much for everything you're doing here, and I'll give the floor back to Juliette. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anne, and thank you for mentioning these key international events that are ahead of us, the G7 in France, the Indian AI Impact Summit that is coming up in February as well. And last but not least, I would like to give the floor to Sally Radwan, who is the Chief Digital Officer of the UN Environment Programme.
Thank you very much, Juliette. I hope you can hear me. Good afternoon or good morning, everyone. And thank you very much for the invitation. It's definitely always a pleasure to join Anne and Thomas and all of you for this important meeting. You've heard that UNEP, of course, is a founding member of the Sustainable AI Coalition, and we did so for many, many reasons. Being, of course, the world's environmental agency, we care about all aspects of the environment, and we feel strongly that there isn't enough attention being paid to the full life cycle assessment of AI systems, as well as the full spectrum of environmental issues that it can impact. So everyone talks about climate and energy, which of course are paramount and extremely important, but there are also other things. There's the use of critical minerals, which are becoming cause for conflicts and strife in many regions of the world. There is excessive water consumption, which is equally becoming life-threatening. There is issues of land degradation, biodiversity loss, waste and e-waste generation, as well as entire sectoral shifts that are happening because of AI, many of those with environmental dimensions too. So we strongly advocate from a UNEP perspective for a whole life cycle approach to assess the impact of AI from the model design and training phase all the way to the sunsetting of AI, as well as the whole spectrum of environmental challenges that encompass everything from the raw materials all the way to waste and e-waste. And this is why we're very happy to join France, ITU, and all the other members of the coalition, as well as all of you, to really advocate and advance this agenda. And as Anne mentioned, we have our United Nations Environment Assembly coming up in December, at which this will, of course, be a paramount issue as well. As you've heard, the coalition was established to streamline and bring coherence to this movement and this agenda, and provides a platform where member states, private sector leaders, researchers, and civil society can come together around shared objectives, avoiding duplication and amplifying impact. We're very excited about the launch of the Initiatives Hub today. It already features a wide range of efforts, which is a clear sign of both momentum and the urgent need to align our work. And it's designed to spotlight and connect cross-border initiatives that harness AI for environmental benefit and or minimize its footprint, both equally important, of course. And by mapping these efforts transparently, we can foster cooperation across sectors, across borders, and build a stronger shared knowledge base. But I hope, and we all agree, this is only the beginning. Our next collective priority is to develop significant and scientifically robust, internationally agreed metrics to measure AI's environmental impact across the entire life cycle and the entire spectrum that I mentioned. The first step towards doing that is having a scientific basis to build this on before we can even talk about any kind of governance or legislation. And of course, transparent and science-based methodologies will always be essential to guide investment, procurement, and ensure innovation in AI contributes positively to people and planet. UNEP, of course, remains committed to bringing science, evidence, and convening power to this coalition. And together, we can ensure AI becomes not just the driver of digital transformation, but a catalyst for addressing the triple planetary crisis of climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss. Thank you very much, and back to you, Juliette.
Thank you very much, Sally, for these inspiring words of introduction. And well, thanks to all of our three high-level speakers for being present today and for giving really the context of what we're going to present today. And now I'm going to dive in, I would say, into the presentation. So first of all, we wanted to do a small reminder on what is the coalition and what are the recent actions that we led with the Coalition for Sustainable AI. We present the coalition of the community of stakeholders driving concrete initiatives to harness AI in service of our environmental goals. We're here to provide a platform so that initiatives can connect together, and we make sure that we do not duplicate efforts and we make the most of everyone's expertise. This was launched during the AI Action Summit in February 2025. Very quickly in the beginning of this coalition, we saw fit to launch a big member survey because we have a broad range of members, more than 200 members currently that are parts of companies, that are from companies, that are from associations, international organizations, public organizations, etc. And so it was really important for us to, before we start new work streams or new work groups, to make sure that we knew what was currently going on. And so this is what we're going to present today, what is currently going on. And this is already available on our website on the Initiatives Hub if you want to find it later. We were also present during key international events, and I will only cite, for example, the UN Ocean Conference, where we had a dedicated event on AI and ocean to make sure that we could expose and make visible organizations that are working on innovation in AI for ocean preservation. And we will now deliver the results of the mapping. And for this important task, I will leave the floor to Hélène.
Thank you very much, Juliette. And I just want to remind everyone that this presentation, as well as the replay, will be available to you after the webinar in the following days. So we're really happy to share with you the first version of our mapping of international collaborative initiative on sustainable AI. The goal of this work is simple. It is to help members of the Coalition of Sustainable AI and anyone interested in the topic. You don't have to be a member to join us for this webinar or to consult the mapping to get a clearer picture of sustainable AI initiatives that already exist. One point which is important, this is not about national initiative that only apply within a single country. Instead, our focus in this mapping is really on collaborative, multi-stakeholder international efforts. We see this mapping as a living document. It will be updated as new initiatives appear and wind down. Over time, it will help us collectively understand what is already being done, see where efforts are concentrated, find synergies and avoid redundancies, and identify where support is most needed. So to build this mapping, we combine three sources. Next slide, please. A survey with responses from our 200 coalition members, direct interviews with major international organizations working on AI and sustainable AI, and also targeted online research. But before diving into the mapping itself, I'd like to share some takeaways with you. So what did we learn from doing this mapping? First, that sustainable AI and working on sustainable AI, it's not something new. It predates the rise of large language models. However, we definitely saw and noticed an acceleration of the momentum since 2022-23 with major international organizations which have significantly expanded their sustainable AI initiatives with a surge of frameworks, coalitions, and reports launched in 2024 and 2025. The approach of most organizations is also a dual approach, addressing both dimensions of sustainable AI, green AI, meaning reducing the AI environmental footprint of AI, and also AI for green, applying AI to tackle environmental challenge, which was not the case only a few years ago, where the focus were really mostly on AI for green. We also see that when it comes to international organization, each organization builds on its core mandate to advance sustainable AI within its broader AI strategy. With regards to the global coordination on AI, international organizations are actually embedding sustainable AI into their broader green digitalization framework. With the private sector AI alliances, such as the one by the World Economic Forum, recognizing environmental challenges, but for some of them, giving them maybe less emphasis than the emphasis you can see within international organizations. Across the board, for both public and private members of the coalition, standardization is a priority. Developing common metrics and guidelines for AI's environmental impact is seen as a top priority and should cover the full life cycle, training, inference, and hardware. Another area of specific collaboration is data centers. Clean energy data centers have been a long-term focus of both tech companies and international organizations. And we all know that AI's current growth will intensify energy demands, making green infrastructure both a challenge and a driver for innovation in energy and resource efficient AI model. So that was our main takeaway. And now for the mapping itself. So you'll find the mapping on the coalition website, where you could find all those initiatives organized into several categories. That's the categories you can see on your screen. Let me now briefly walk you through each of them. As I said, the PowerPoint also will be shared with you at the end of the presentation. So governance of AI, how are we collectively organizing to discuss AI, its challenges and opportunities, and how the sustainability of AI is addressed within those instances. So first, we've distinguished between a general AI governance and forum. First, we distinguish between general AI governance forum and the forum which already existed and really focused on green digitalization. So we've seen the emerging of intergovernmental initiatives, such as first the Global Partnership of AI of the OECD, and most recently in 2024, the UN Global Compact, which will launch a scientific panel on AI and global dialogue on AI. And both of them are structuring the discussion on AI at large, but they also have part of their discussion dedicated to sustainable AI, being it a green AI or AI for green. The private forum led by the private sector has already also emerged, including one by the World Economic Forum and another at the Partnership on AI. For this one, while we see that at WEF, they have addressed the environmental impact of AI, that's not yet the case of the partnership on AI, which address other issues. Along this more general forum addressing and discussing AI at large, there are also forums really dedicated to green digitalization with initiatives such as the Coalition for Digital Environmental Sustainability, which the Sustainable AI Coalition is articulated with, and the Green Digitalization Action led by ITU. And for both instances, Sustainable AI is really a core dimension of their work. At the regional level, next slide, please. We also see at the regional level that other forums are emerging. Also, most of them focus on broader topics beyond AI itself, really mostly focusing on infrastructure. A notable exception is the Africa Green Compute Coalition, which was launched in 2024 and which is supported by the UNDP. So as we can see, within the general forum where AI is discussed, sustainable AI is a topic of discussion as considered to be part of the broader discussion on AI. Now, switching to green AI initiatives, green AI efforts can be grouped into 4 main categories: transparency and data sharing, standards, data centers, and capacity building and public policies. When it comes to transparency and data sharing, this is really the first building blocks that we need to be able to better understand the environmental impact of AI, and that's a very important one. And thanks to the AI Impact Summit, we've seen the launch of 2 dedicated initiatives in this regard. First, the International Energy Agency Observatory on AI and Energy, and the Observatory on AI's Environmental Impact, led by academics and the civil society. Standards, then, we found that really standards is one of the most active areas of international collaboration due to the long history of standardization within the ICT sector. Basically, all major international standardization organizations have been working for the past year at least on standardization specific to AI. And organizations such as ITU, IEEE, UNESCO, and ISO are developing together a global roadmap for standardization for AI environmental sustainability to ensure consistency of their work. In maybe like another building block after standardization, moving to hardware, is really a data center. It's really an area for vivid cooperation and long-standing collaboration between public and private parties. And the private sector is really active within this area of cooperation, especially on energy efficiency and clean energy. And now those pre-existing forum and initiative are all of them integrating AI-specific challenges. Maybe like the 2 more active international organizations within this realm are the International Energy Agency, which published their special report on AI and really started a specific dive-in on AI and energy with their observatory, and also within their working group that already exists, such as the Energy Efficiency of Data Center Working Group, which is part of their EDNA network. And you also have UNEP, which plays a critical role with this on data center, with both its Sustainable Data Center platform within its Copenhagen Center on Energy Efficiency, and the publication in 2025 of its Sustainable Procurement Guidelines for Data Centers and Servers, and the related working group, which goes hand in hand with the launching of these guidelines. The last sector of cooperation within green AI is capacity building and public policy. In this realm, UNESCO was a pioneer with its recommendation on ethics of AI and its implementation tools, such as the readiness assessment methodology and its ethical impact assessments. Both of them include a section on the environmental footprint of AI and on the use of AI. Now next slide, please. Thank you so much. Now there is on top of that really a special effort which is complementing those general approaches, and a tool with dedicated toolkit with a direct focus on the environmental impact of AI. One toolkit is developed by UNESCO, another one by the World Bank. They have a different focus, and they will serve like a different audience, and both of them are expecting in the coming months or by 2026. Now moving on to AI for Green, which is how AI can support environmental goal. First, you can distinguish between global initiatives and initiatives that are really specific pilots and use cases. On global initiatives, some of them serve as umbrella initiatives or resource hubs, such as the IEA Observatory or the upcoming FAO Agri-Food System Outlook, or the Global Initiative on Resilience to Natural Hazard through AI. Some of them are also networks of labs or programs that are dedicated to support the development of use cases using AI to the support of solving the environmental crisis, such as the ARCI, International Research Center on Artificial Intelligence by UNESCO, which every year publishes its spotlight of 100 AI innovation advancing the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or the Accelerator Labs networks supported by UNDP. Furthermore, we also noticed that more and more AI conversational agents are being developed to be able to make environmental information more accessible. For instance, in December, UNEP will launch its own environment GPT. Finally, switching on to the pilot project, I will not go through any of them. It's really like a selection of a few use cases that are listed on the initiative hubs. A lot of them are supported by international organizations, which will found a pilot that will be able to be duplicated in other countries. But also there are a lot of initiatives that are also supported and launched by the private sector. The private sector is really active in this realm. So if you have any pilots or any use cases that you would like to be added to our initiative hubs with regards to the AI for Green section, please do not hesitate to send us an email. Then finally, we also please know that the initiative hubs also act as a resource library. So you'll find the latest report on sustainable AI, both Green AI and AI for Green. And in our introduction speech, already mentioned the latest study that have been published in 2025 by Mistral AI, Google, and NVIDIA. But there is also a lot of collective work led by ITU, UNESCO, or UNFCCC that have been, by working with the community, being able to publish really interesting reports on the environmental footprint of AI, or on how AI could be used to benefit the environment. So really, please use the hub as a resource library if you need any information about the latest reports published. We also, on this initiative hub, we also track all the data challenges and hackathons that are currently underway, such as the annual Innovation Factory by ITU. So if you want to support, be part, or know of startups who would like to be part of those programs, please make sure to point them to our initiative hub. I'm sure they'll find the next challenges they want to be part of. So in short, that will be my closing remark. The hub is designed to give you the most accurate and comprehensive overview of the sustainable AI worldwide. Of course, it's not yet complete. And so we really welcome your feedback on how to improve the hub itself, how the information are displayed, but also we really need your help to make sure that the initiatives that are listed are as complete as possible. So based on this mapping, the first thing for us was really to be able to have this overview and to understand who was doing what with regard to sustainable AI initiative. But by doing this work, we've also been able to identify areas where additional or supporting work could be launched. And that's what Juliette is going to present to you now.
Thank you very much, Helen, for this presentation. So as Helen mentioned, we have not been able to enter into details on all the initiatives that we listed on our initiative hub. So really don't hesitate to go on the webpage, go through the different pages, see if there's something that is of interest to you. And if you know of an initiative that is really interesting and that you wish be on this initiative hub, then you can send it to us and we will add it if it enters our list of criteria, which is just a collaborative and cross-border initiative on the nexus of AI and environmental sustainability. So based on the survey that we sent out to all our members in May and June, we collected all those initiatives, but we also asked them, like, what do you think is needed? What is still lacking in the area of all the undergoing initiatives? We know there are several initiatives, but we still think that there might be some really interesting areas of interest. So I'm here today to present them to you and see if that raises an interest from your side. So at the end of this presentation, you'll be able to answer a form to let us know if it's something that you see of interest, if you would like to participate or even co-lead such a work stream. But first, let me share with you what we learned from our member survey. So the next step of the Coalition for Sustainable AI is really to create the most impactful and necessary deliverables. And I think the high-level representatives that spoke at the beginning, they mentioned a lot of key international events that are ahead of us and that will tackle the issue of environment and AI. And so we wish to integrate the different initiatives that we wish to work on in this international agenda to make sure that they have the necessary visibility that is in accordance with the importance of this theme. So the areas where people answered that there could be more initiatives or standards, AI for green adoption, tools, regulation, governance, sovereignty, procurement and funding, frugal AI for low-powered environments. So there were really a number of things that people were thinking about. So we'll just present here eight suggestions, 8 potential work streams that we could be working on in the future, but there is also it's also possible in the form that you can fill at the end of this webinar to indicate where you think, okay, maybe there is really a work stream that is still lacking and that you did not present, so we can think about it. And yeah, they mentioned the key international events ahead of us. There is obviously the COP30 in Brazil in November 2025, the AI Standards Summit in December 2025 in Korea, the UNEP 7 in Kenya, or the Indian AI Impact Summit. So there is a number of events, and so we'll make sure that a work stream that we work on, they can be visible at those events. So the first one we mentioned that is a lot of undergoing initiatives linked with standardization of AI environmental sustainability. This is already something that we saw when we organized the AI Action Summit in France. And we saw that all those different initiatives needed to be linked together, because if not, then we risk publishing methodologies that are different and that will lead to evaluations that are not comparable. So we published during the AI Action Summit in February a roadmap with people from the International Telecommunication Union, the IEEE, and the ISO, the International Standards Organization. We think that with everything that is currently going on. This is it could be important to update this roadmap on standardization for several work group meetings. So we could implement this by convening 2 new meetings of the work groups in October and November with contributions from the industry, from research, from associations, etc., to make sure that we have a common view on where standardization for an AI environmental sustainability should go. The second potential work stream, and before presenting this, I will say all those work streams are also presented on our website. So we'll share the link to our website where we present those potential work streams, so you can see their presentation and also, well, figure out later if it's something of interest to you. The second one is about procurement guidelines on AI models and systems. So once we have the metrics, we have the standards, there's also a question of guiding people, including guiding organizations, governments in procuring for AI models, AI systems in general. They might want to take into account the constraints they have on resources and the environmental impact of AI. There has been a number of reports already on green procurement for data centers, for the ICT sector in general, but there is still no, to the best of our knowledge, no reports on green procurement for AI. And I think there's a lot of governments who would be interested in such reports. So we could deliver contents, not only reports, but also training course for public officials for public procurement related to more sustainable AI. This third one that we have in mind is still showcasing more and more AI for green pilots, because we know that we're still lacking visibility for those pilots. They need to be able to spread not only in one country, not only in one city, but in several countries and several cities. So we've already done a very interesting exercise during the UN Ocean Conference of showcasing innovative solutions for ocean preservation. And in the context of upcoming events such as the AI Indian Impact Summit, we wish to showcase new innovative solutions, and we're thinking, for example, AI for sustainable agriculture. So we would need to see pilots that are wishing to spread and be able to make a link, I would say, with between use cases that are similar, so that we can showcase them during those events. The fourth one is the question of transparency. This is kind of at the beginning of the topic of green AI. We know that there's a lot of stakeholders that express a lack of understanding of the environmental impact of AI due to the lack of data. But at the same time, obviously, companies need to be able to protect their commercially sensitive data. So since with the Observatory on Energy and AI, we already have some interesting data, but if we want to go further, I think we need to have this discussion with researchers, with industry representatives on, okay, what are the data that could potentially be shared while preserving commercial sensitivity? So we're envisioning to first have a white paper by research institutes that would be published on the topic, and then have a discussion with industry representatives and researchers on this topic. A potential work stream next would be more hackathons and challenges. So we've seen that it's really interesting to foster collaboration between different teams of data scientists, between NGOs that might have a use case that they need to be solved, and data scientists that have the expertise to lead data and AI projects. So that's why we conducted during the AI Action Summit the Frugal AI Challenge, and there will be a number of challenges for COP30 in Brazil. So we're thinking of doing kind of second version of the Frugal AI Challenge by finding a key task, I would say, and by integrating those key tasks, a need for, well, eco-conception, for reducing the environmental impact of the AI solutions that will be proposed for those hackathons and challenges. The sixth one is about agentic AI. So you may have seen in the news that this is kind of the new trends. Everyone is talking about agentic AI, but it's really hard for us right now to really comprehend what are the impacts of agentic AI, the links with resource efficiency or with environmental sustainability. During the AI Action Summit, we had a collective work on the challenges regarding environmental sustainability for AI. And we think that it could be a good moment right now to go on the second step, which are what are the implications of agentic AI for environmental sustainability. And so a paper could be collaboratively produced on the topic. The seventh one is about compressed models. So AI models can sometimes be hard to deploy when computing resources have constraints. And so that's why during the Frugal AI Challenge, we had a big expectation, I would say, on the energy consumption of the AI solutions that were produced. It's interesting in terms of environment, but also in terms of when you have a low-powered environment. And there was recently a UNESCO report on the fact that sometimes models that are smaller but more specialized can bring better answers that the big LLM models that could give good answers but maybe consume more. So we're thinking with various partners from the AI ecosystem that it could be interesting to have a deliverable around compressed models with documentation enabling you to choose between and balancing, I would say, performance versus resource needs. So the seven potential work streams that I presented to you are currently under discussion. We're discussing with various stakeholders to see if there is an interest. So don't hesitate to let us know if that's also something that is of interest to you. If you have ideas around this topic, there's a last work stream that is that doesn't need, I would say, to be under review, and that will start very soon. This is the development of nature-related financial disclosure guidance for the technology sector. This is the NGO Nature Finance that is leading this work stream in the context that the AI sector has been identified as one of the most material sectors to nature loss and to the nature positive transition. Nature Finance is already well known for all the guidance that they provided on financial disclosure, and they did it for the economy broadly, and now they want to do it for the technology sector specifically. And so they're starting a working group in September with key milestones in January 2026 and next year. So if you're ever interested, you can also let us know of your interest, and we'll put you in contact with Nature Finance. So I finished with the 8 work streams that I wanted to present to you. As I said, they can be found on the websites of the Coalition for Sustainable AI if you want more information. What about further engagements into the work and the initiatives of the coalition? Well, if you are not yet a member, you've seen today, I would say, a good overview of the work of the coalition that we're leading. There's a coordination team with France, with ITU, and with UNEP. You can, if you want to join, you just have to go on the webpage and indicate your willingness to join and give us, some information about your organization so that you make sure that you have a link, I would say, with our topics. If you are a member and you have not yet answered our survey, our consultation on your past and ongoing initiatives, well, we invite you to do so that we can add more and more initiatives. You'll see that it's already full. That's a lot of things on this webpage, but I'm thinking that the topic is very broad. So there's certainly things that are not in our mapping currently. If you're a member, you'll also be able to join our directory of members, which allow you to connect with other people from other coalition members or with the coordination team directly. It allows you, for example, to start new projects together, capacity building contents, reports, etc. We are really encouraging, I would say, members to also connect between each other, not always going through us, through the coordination team, but also together. And the last one is to mention that if you're a member, you also receive coalition opportunities. So the opportunity to join working groups, to join events, funded programs. You'll know, I would say, the news around sustainable AI earlier than anyone else. So make sure you join so that you have all the news around sustainable AI. If you want to take part in Workstreams, we'll put the link in the chat, but you have in our news and events, you have this presentation of the Workstreams, and you have the link to the form where you can indicate an interest. And while we wait for your expression of interest, follow us on LinkedIn, register for our newsletter, and you get all the information around sustainable AI. This is the end of our webinar. It was shorter than we expected. We're ending it earlier than 2. So we'll take maybe some time to answer questions in the chats. Don't hesitate if you have more, and if you have more questions. And otherwise, I wish you a great day or afternoon or evening wherever you are in the world.